The day that the street angels helped save my town is now one to be forgotten. The day started off beautiful, these men and women doing as they always did. This one day in particular helping out in an elementary school field day, one that was supposed to be canceled due to a terrible storm. The day instead, beautiful, no storm in sight. The street angels were great people who helped whenever or wherever they were needed. I myself, an 8-year-old, was a street angel helping with small things such as working with stores to provide my school with fruit for school lunches. The street angels acted as a support team for any issue that my small town of Munson, Massachusetts faced. It always felt so good to be a part of something that was doing good for a community that meant a lot to my family and I. The street angels had yet to face anything that would be a potential challenge to them. We had instead done fundraisers for different charities and families in need. Suddenly, a beautiful day filled with the laughter of children went dark. My grandmother rushed to pick my sister and I up from school. She then warned us of a terrible storm that was coming our way. We got home and went to the basement. All we could do was worry about the safety of my mother and grandfather, who were still at work, as this device of destruction hurled toward us. My mother arrived home safe, and my grandfather had called us to let us know that he was taking shelter at a local veterinarian's office. The power went out and everything went dark. Everything was happening so fast that all I could hear was the sound of the battery-powered radio as it described the terrible thing that was about to change so many people's lives, mostly for the worst. Less than 5 minutes later, all that could be heard was the fear of my mother and grandmother's voices as what sounded like a train went over our home. Soon after that, my dad called to check on us, and we were all hit with more bad news. Another one of whatever had just hit our small town was coming again. We then descended into our basement a second time where another device of destruction had hit our home. After the first two of what my mother called tunnels of wind hit, 5 more came. We finally heard that it was safe to leave our shelters, aka our homes, and check on others. Firemen came to the doors of our houses, knocking on them to check on the safety of everyone. Neighbors that had never talked to us or that we had never even seen were asking if we were okay, as we did the same. Outside smelled of tree bark, as we saw many power lines and trees laying down across the road. The steeple of our town's church, along with the bell, were now laying across the green. The town library on fire. The next day, when it was completely safe to go outside, the street angels took action. It was hard for us as we learned of close friends who had been injured and lost their homes. My sister learned that her best friend's house had collapsed on her. The angels began several projects. They opened up the church as a place of refuge for those who had lost their homes or had no power to make meals. They made hot meals for the town and baskets for the children who had lost all of their toys. When we had gone back to school, the street angels sent out sheets to the teachers so they could write down who had lost their homes to better help them. For months, the angels went around cleaning up the destruction and provided other workers with food and drinks. To this day, we still help plant trees and try to make our town, which had been hit with this terrible thing, look normal again. What hit my town was a monster moving ever so fast that had no other feelings but anger, as it destroyed everything on its path and then just left. Helping out as a young child, I used to think that no matter how much damage this monster did, it could never destroy our strong community, as it tried with 7 times without any success.